Hi guys, this is Michael from the Board Games Chronicle. Today I have a pleasure of presenting to you another material. We'll be looking at C3i magazine, number 36, recently published by Roger McGowan. One of the best magazines in the industry. It won a couple of awards for being the best magazine and already 30 years with us. I love how this magazine, which is independently run by Roger, uh, drives drives a lot of additional content, additional analysis, in-depth designer and historical notes on the games we play on a daily basis. Also, those additional scenarios, additional variants, and in each and every magazine, additional game which you can play are a great addition. This is published, if I'm not mistaken, yearly. This is 2022 edition, and I'm always awaiting what will come in this particular magazine. We'll have one full game here, Desert Victory, North Africa, 1940-42, by Trevor Bender. This is the second game in the series. We'll look into in a moment into this. But before jumping to the game, let's see what's inside and what's the content of the magazine. First of all, let me open the sturdy bag and get everything out. Okay, let's start with the magazine. By the way, really nicely published, glossy material, high quality. At the back, we have what the game is about. Yeah, so this is Desert Victory, Trevor Bender's North Africa. As we shall see in a moment, it's a really low counter density, a very fast-paced game. I like it a lot. So let's start our journey with the magazine. Yeah, from the editor's deck, we are getting the information, about being with 30 years of magazine being published. Number 1, number 36. Here is a table of contents with all the great articles which will be part of this magazine. Also, we have inserts, as always, some counter sheets, the game, Desert Victory, and also additional SPQR variant for skirmishers, valids, and light troop revisit. Really nice. Not only the new rules, new tables, but also some new additional units which can be used and utilized in the scenarios. Okay, so what is the first article in the series? It's Mark Herman's Cleo Corner, already number 13. I really love this series. You have this here named all the let's say installments in the series. It always describes some specific aspects of war games design, about the solutions which are being used, and how they impact the final product, the final design, the final game. Here we have war games CRT, so how to resolve chaos. We all know combat resolution tables. We know that in the past it was a most common technique to resolve the battles. Now the recent games sometimes go out of this concept and try to use various different mechanics to deal with this. What Mark does in this article is analyzing how it changed through the years. It starts with Africa Corps in a 1966 game, which had pretty rudimentary CRTs, and it goes through other tables from other games like Pacific War, like coin games, like For the People. It tells about constructing a combat resolution table. It shows some examples. Yeah, this is For the People from the Gettysburg. This is another example of a CRT. And here we have another from the Rebel Fury and also from the Churchill. So it really it gives us another insight in one of the key war games mechanics, this time CRTs. Can't wait to read this article. Really, really interesting about the Mark's thoughts about this so important component of the wargaming design. Second article in the series is Twilight Struggle Red Sea. I just received this magazine with a Twilight Struggle Red Sea, so it is a fantastic coincidence. Yep, it's here. Just came with a magazine, and I will be able to read more insights from the designer Jason Matthews about this game, about the historical background. I'm repeating myself very often in almost all my videos, but I will do it again here. I'm playing war games, and many of my colleagues are playing war games, not only for the cool mechanics and time well spent, but also for the theme and historical background. And this is exactly what we have here. We are getting much more information about what was going on in Ethiopia and Somalia during 1974 and around, how the Haile Selassie was overthrown, and he was a bedrock of the US presence in the Eastern Africa, and how the Marxists took over and how the chain reaction started. So really, really cool stuff, and I hope for a really cool article which talks about game design and about the history and how the both things are intertwined. Yep, that's exactly it. Cool, really cool background article before me playing the Twilight Struggle Red Sea. Okay, what is next? The next is the C3i interview with Randall C. Reed, another game designer. You can see Randall's games here, and a short biography and discussion by with him. C3i is asking questions and Randall is answering. Really interesting to learn more about this game designer, about whom I'm not having so much information. So definitely another interesting article. Then we have, of course, the information which you also should remember about that you can get the deluxe books cases editions for RBM Studio, both games and magazines. And then we have Harold Buchanan's Snakes and Ladders series. It's already number 3. And it talks about rules as written. We have 4 very famous, let's say, personalities here and statements from her. And Snakes and Ladders is, of course, an old game. I think it's a very old game, centuries old. It actually says about this here. And it's the race game emphasizing destiny instead of luck. Very interesting. So really glad to hear what Harold is telling us about here in this article. Next we have Blind Swords. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, system which is designed for American Civil War, ACW. Yep. A short article about this here, and this is by Steve Carey, and here we have Jeff Grossman, another battle of American Civil War. And this is the article I was really waiting for. You know, I'm really fan of Mark Herman's Pacific War. You can see it from the content which I'm creating, from all the videos, from all the materials, from all the session reports. And here, Mark is discussing in very detailed way the first month of the Pacific War, so also so-called the month of infamy. And he describes this month from the game perspective. So actually using the board and using the components, using the cheats and tokens here. So here we have an introduction. Here we have a Pacific warm-up. Here is the December 1941 Japanese operations. And as you can see, those operations will be transferred into the actual Pacific War map. So you can see when you set up this initial month campaign, you have forces of and task forces, of course, set up, and this shows who was attacking where and with what mission. For example, let's say we have O. So the operation O, this is hex 4411. These are the troops. This is the destination. This is CP cost, and this is the mission. So in essence, what we can do, we can set up the or either strategic scenario or simply the campaign for the first month, and really try to replay some of this as it was in the history, as it was planned. Yeah, so this is a really cool, really cool way to put the history in action using the war game. So you can see here what's going on. There's of course a discussion about how the Allied surprise was designed and put into the rules. Campaign, there are references to particular scenarios, like campaign scenario 1, how the Malaya was conquered, transport to initial objectives campaign 3. I think we would have here, for example, Burma, so first battle cycle activation, deactivation phase. Wake invasion, it was in an engagement scenario 3. Also, you can see this. So Mark goes through this first month using his game, depicting the events from this first month using the game, and also using the scenarios, campaign, engagement, battle scenarios, which are connected to those particular events. Fantastic connection between game and history. Yeah. There's also some information about strategic warfare and submarines, because that's what was changed from the previous edition. Here we have also the proposition for the January 1942 operation. Of course, to a large extent, it will depend on what happened in the first month, but I assume that this is in line in what historically happened. And January 1942 second operation. Some additional information about Pearl Harbor here. Yeah, and a submarine warfare model. All in all, pretty interesting and detailed analysis. It's like 17 pages on Pacific War. A cool insert, yeah, a fantastic insert. You can say all of this allowing you to replay those events, and I'm sure I will be trying to do this. You can count on me, guys. Really glad to try this. This is probably using the Vassal module. Yep, really nicely depicting all the actions. Okay, next part. In the next part, we have the Batis campaign. This is a game preview, so this is not actual game yet. And this is a preview to the game, how the Rome's Scipio's brothers strike into Punic Spain, and how they found death there. However, then another Scipio avenged them, and as we know, finished the war. So this is just a preview of the game, a high-level game from what I can see. It's supposed to use Mark Herman's Elegant Waterloo Campaign 1815 solutions. Very interesting to see this published, hopefully in C3i magazine. Then we have another C3i interview with Charlie Kibler. Okay, good to see this. Would like really to learn more about him. Of course, an article with let's say area not so close to war games, but still a lot of conflict games are in the Euro games. And this is Wargaming in the Land of Euro Games by Riccardo Massini. Interesting what he will write about it. It could be cool article. And then we have 40 years with Mark McLaughlin. From War and Peace to the Napoleonic Wars. Yes, we know Mark. He is a really, really prolific designer, publishing a lot of games, but also books, and it is interesting historical material. So would be glad to read about it. Another article about James Buckley, War Games, Simulation or Stimulation. Very, very interesting. We shall see what he has to say about this. A report from San Diego Historical Convention 2022, a trip report. It was convention which, after a couple of years of pandemic, was held live, face to face. Yeah. We can see Mark playing South Pacific on a couple of tables at the same time. And last but not least, there is also a memorial for John Parados, who passed away recently, and also about information about CSR awards. Yeah, so Charles Roberts Awards. And that will be it for the magazine. Now, I think it's good to look at the inserts. The first insert would be the Desert Victory game, North Africa. This is Arms Series Volume 2. This is a game by Trevor Bender, and it will be about North Africa, of course. Struggle. Let's see the instruction. Not overly complex, as far as I remember the first game. Yeah, there are operations, explanation, organization. We'll have a couple of scenarios also, although the game is anyhow pretty quick. And of course, designer notes, which tells you about how the game was produced. Then we have player rates. Of course, CRT, about which we could read in the main magazine, and what happens and to those units, no effect, disruption, loss, retreat, and so on. And here we have a terrain reference. And as if in Africa you have almost escarpments and things like that, so wadis, really interesting. Now the map, as you can see already immediately, it has a large hexes, which is really cool because that allows for all the tokens to be nicely placed. Yeah, so we can see the map here, CRT is here. Here, we start from here, the attack of Rommel, then counterattack, then one again attack. We have Tobruk, we have Bardia, and of course we have also Alexandria here, over here. Here too is the game flow. We have all the reinforcements. We have also the terrain information. This is area for play for the German part, I think, yeah, and here too. And this is for the Allied part. Really nice map, really functional. As I said, I like those large hexes and the ability to put tokens without any problems. Yeah, that's good. And do we have something more? Yes, of course we have the counter tray itself. So on the counter tray, we see first of all the counters for the North Africa game. Here they are. I believe this is all of them, 80 of them. I told you this is a low density game. The actual forces are here, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 6, 36 tokens. It's not much. Really, that's not much. And one of them is turn marker. And here we have posture, and we have also supply, disruption, attacks, and also the ports. Other than that, in this counter sheet, we have skirmishers, which are used for this SPQR game variant. We'll be talking about in a moment. And also we have here the correct tokens for Pacific War, with exception of 2 divisions. Yeah, these are the 2 new divisions added to the strategic scenario, if I remember correctly, and they arrive at particular moments in time. The rest are the corrections which you can use and simply exchange the tokens from the game printed a year ago. Now let's talk a little about this SPQR variant. So, as mentioned in the insert, we don't have only the new game, but we also have a new variant for the SPQR game from Great Battles of History. So this is Skirmishers, Velites, and Light Troops Revisited. First of all, we have the information about the rule changes and then some introduction, how the rules are being changed, and also the rationale behind those changes. For example, this illustrates the effect that holding the high ground has on the terminal velocities of sling projectiles. Pretty scientific, I can say. And how this affects play balance. All those changes which are being introduced here. This is discussed here. And then you have also the description of those units which I have here, which are being added. Yeah. There is option for simple Great Battle of History, of course, and updated victory conditions for light troops variant. And these are the battles like Bagradas, Beneventum, Canaan, that I always have difficulty to pronounce, Sinosep Halae, and also Zama. These are the 5 main battles which are used in SPQR. And these are from the scenario battle packs, all of those games. And this is the update of the victory conditions, because of course the rules, when you change a large proportion of rules, and the light troops, skirmishers and valids definitely is a large portion of troops, it will have immediate impact on the scenario balance. So these are the rules and changes to the victory conditions. Here we have actual player aid, which is changed. So you can see missile range and result chart, Roman camp terrain effects, and here are also the things which you probably already know, but here there are some changes also here. I believe probably not many changes in this area. The main changes will be in here, missile range and result chart. So these are all beautiful, interesting, exciting components of C3i magazine from Roger and McGowan. 30th anniversary of magazine being published, 36th installment in the series. Really a lot of articles, analysis, interesting discussions, interviews, and of course games. First of all, the Desert Victory game, and second of all, of course, this new variant for SPQL. Again, can't wait to bring this to the table, hopefully to do it pretty soon, and also read the Twilight Struggle Red Sea article and bring the game which came just with the magazine recently and play this too. Thank you very much for being with me today. I really hope you like this video. If so, please give thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content like that, kindly please subscribe. Every subscription counts for such a small content creator like the Board Games Chronicle. Also, if you'd like to comment, ask question about any materials, any information, any area which was touched during this video, please use the section below. Thank you very much for today, and bye.